Your uni, your team. From kick-off to the final whistle. This is the Shock Radio Sports Show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Shock Sports Show. I'm your host, Elliott Palmer, and I'm joined with... And we are going to be talking to you a little bit for the next hour about the recent sporting events in the world of sport, obviously. But first and foremost, here is My Honest Face by Inhaler. Enjoy! I'm your host, Elliott Palmer, and we're going to be talking to you about what's happened in the world of sport over the last few weeks. And first of all, we're going to say a massive good luck to Team GB, who have just started the Winter Olympics about 4.5 minutes ago. So go and smash it in the cold, lads and lasses, and let's bring home a lot of gold medals. But first and foremost, should we talk about the Premier League? Yeah. Because we've missed a fair bit over the last few weeks, doing a special last week, including quite a few Manchester United wins, which are rare. I was lucky enough to be on here last week after the Manchester derby, when we won that, and then we beat Arsenal and Fulham in the meantime. Very happy boy.
You're a Manchester United fan. You are
I am.
a Manchester United fan.
I'm a Manchester United fan.
I have never been more scared in my life.
We are based.
You'd be grand.
We are based in Salford, Will. I think that was.
That's true. That is very true.
Yeah.
So, I think we've got Kennedy. I want your opinions on the Arsenal match first.
On the Arsenal game,
because that's what I
alright.
saw first. So,
I think that's a really good place to start, actually, because that game I went in with so much confidence. Speaking to a lot of friends, other United fans, and talking about like, oh, how do we think things are going to go? I'm going, lads, we'll be grand.
I know you ended up winning. That's very bold of you to go into that game with a lot
But
of confidence.
if you know Manchester United inside out,
Yeah,
like
Arsenal are
I would,
better
like
than
we
us.
would, when Carrick came in, I literally said to all my mates, I said, we'll do City, we'll do Arsenal, Fulham will be
the issue.
And lo and behold, we weren't far off. But sticking to Arsenal for now.
We tried our best to make them an issue.
Let's talk about Ballon d'Or really quick.
Ballon d'Or.
What a player.
What a finish.
What a finish
What
indeed.
a finish. What a player.
Even before Carrick started, he's really had this kind of turn in form.
Since that Newcastle game, wasn't when Amorim sort of had to bite his tongue and play a back four because all of his best defenders are injured, and then Patrick Dorgu randomly put on the right wing, and he scored a wonderful goal against Newcastle. Since then,
I do feel as though, right, due to the nature of you all being at Manchester United fans, I probably do have to play a bit devil's advocate here. Dorgu was doing very well, but is he just, slightly better than what you had before because how badly all of your other wingers have been recently?
well, we've had Luke Shaw for the last 10 years. So
left back. Luke Shaw has been on and off over the past 10 years. Are you maybe just finally experiencing what it's like to have like a half decent left?
Yes.
Like, is he? Because I myself, as a Leicester fan, have experienced many highs and many lows. I know
Thomas Castagna was pretty good.
I know the difference between a good player and a bad player, and I would say that Dorgu, to me, is not the left back that's going to get you back where you want.
No, I don't think we've got the squad at the minute that's going to get us back. So I think we've got players like, I think I said it the other week, we've got players like Mbeumo and Dorgu who at the minute are at incredibly high level and are getting Manchester United to the level they should be at.
Yeah.
They're not going to be established players. They're not going to sit in this team for the next 10 years.
I don't know if I agree in terms of Mbeumo.
Maybe not Mbeumo.
I think Mbeumo
Dorgu
is
for
a quality
certain.
footballer.
I'm just basically what I'm trying to do here. I'm doing a service to the Shock Sport viewers because I do feel as though you three will be on a massive high, and
Absolutely.
I feel as though I need to keep you all in check a little bit. Remind you guys, most of your players are still pretty average at best.
Yeah.
And then Bruno Fernandes, who's the greatest player whoever ever kicked a football.
Okay.
Bruno Fernandes is listening. I don't think that's something that's shared by the entire team.
I think, though, it goes without saying that Bruno Fernandes should definitely be in conversations of one of the best midfielders in Premier League history.
So we saw
No, in
this.
conversations.
In conversations in the same way I'm in conversations as the best Shock Radio presenter of all time. You can put me in the conversation, doesn't mean I am.
We saw this conversation actually with just before the Arsenal game. There was a lot of talk, especially Martin Keown came out and said that he thinks that Martin Odegaard is infinitely better than Bruno Fernandes. And I just want to ask Jake, where do you think we stand? Because Martin Odegaard and Fernandes neither of them are bad footballers.
Oh no, definitely not.
But where do we stand? What does Odegaard have to do? What does Bruno have to do to prove that they're both better than the other one?
The thing is with Bruno Fernandes, he has done it. He has done all the talent with a bad Manchester United team. It's like last season we finished 15th. 15th in the league, and I mean, for Manchester United standards, that is definitely not on. So the fact that he did that individual season, and he was by far our best player that season, by far, that is what just makes me think Bruno Fernandes is over the edge of Martin Odegaard. I mean, Martin Odegaard, credits due, he is a fantastic player, and you've obviously seen the impact what he's doing at Arsenal. But at the same time, it's like, look at Arsenal. They have a very, very good side that are at least fighting for the title, at least more or less every year. And fair enough, he's been doing some bits. He's been doing bits and bats, Martin Odegaard, but for me, it's like...
I think what differentiates the two of them is risk.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think Martin Odegaard really has that level of risk.
He's on what, two goals since he came back from injury, something like that?
I think so, something like that.
If you talk about goals, even chances created, like, he's almost too afraid to lose the ball, and maybe that's instruction from management, because we know Bruno is one of the highest ball losers in the league, but also the highest assister and has the highest chances created in the league.
Definitely.
Well. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Drags Man United from wherever they are.
I do feel as though I'm going to say this a lot today, but especially talking with a United fan. Let's play devil's advocate here. Yes, being a fan is very cracking little player. It goes out saying.
Cracking little player.
Cracking little player. However, Martin Odegaard, played for Real Madrid so young.
Yeah,
I think his ceiling is a lot higher. So right now, I think it's probably the fact that
young,
Bruno and Martin
considerably younger than Bruno.
I don't know why I've called them by the first names. I don't know them like that. But the fact that the two of them are being compared, I think, is a massive credit to Martin Odegaard, because Fernandes is so much his senior, and yet they're kind of already seen as being on the same level. So yes, right now Fernandes is better, but isn't that almost to say, yeah, he should be better? He's a lot older. He's played a lot more minutes. Maybe not for his high level.
Not for as good a team.
In the Premier League, other than Martin Odegaard, can you say that and I don't even think Martin Odegaard is up to Bruno Fernandes' level, but do you think there's any tens, I suppose, in the league that can have that conversation with Bruno?
Not since Kevin De Bruyne left.
Kevin was better, but he's the only person who you could compare Bruno with, really.
I would say I agree. I think Bruno Fernandes probably is the best 10 in the league right now.
Yeah.
But again, like I say, he's been in the league for many years now. He is, how old is he? 31, I believe.
Yeah, he's not a young boy.
So,
he's 31.
He's not a spring chicken.
He's in what a lot of players in that position would probably be in their prime at this point. So yes, he should be good. He's playing for Manchester United. And giving you an inch here, probably one of the best teams, best clubs in world football, if not the best. Giving you an inch here, please don't make me give you a mile. But yeah, so yes, he's very good, but shouldn't he be? And Martin Odegaard, very good. Maybe he shouldn't be for his age.
Yeah, he's had injuries, Martin Odegaard.
Yes.
Bruno, he doesn't really have many injuries. He has had the one, and then seemingly miraculously recovered as soon as Ruben Amorim was sacked, much like Kobbie Mainoo.
Out of nowhere.
Randomly.
I have a question.
That's a good example.
Does Bruno break the assist record? He's 8 assists off, if I'm not mistaken.
You'd think he would.
With 14 games left to go.
I would say he would. I would say he can do, especially with the talent that is there.
Now that he's not got Rasmus Højlund in front of him, he might do.
I'm not going to engage in Rasmus Højlund slander.
He's got Brian and Mbeumo and Matthias Cunha, who have proved they can score, and Benjamin Sesko, who hopefully will now start to kick on. He's been.
Now that's something I will say. Sesko is the best player I've seen for United.
He's been
on his day
kicking on so often now. There's been times that he's gone, he might be starting, and this time will he finally start to get going now that he's made that big goal in the Premier League?
The thing is, what I find really unique about Michael Carrick, obviously coming in as the interim, is he's actually dropped Benjamin Sesko. He's dropped him, and he's gone to a point where he's put Brian Mbeumo in like the forward position, in like that false nine. And I think that's worked brilliantly. I think that has worked absolutely wonders. And I mean, I'm glad to see Bruno Fernandes is back playing in his number 10 role, because I swear, when Ruben Amorim always played Bruno Fernandes in that midfield alongside Casemiro, it was unbearable. It's like, he can't defend. He can by all means, he can go and score, he can go on the attack a lot, but he can't sit back and defend. So for me, the fact that Michael Carrick decided to do that bold move of putting Brian Mbeumo in the false 9 position so that then Bruno Fernandes can go in as number 10, I think that really benefited him a lot.
I think at that as well, where he's played Bruno when we are in the defensive phase, we press in a 4-4-2 structure now. Yeah. And Bruno's in that 2 at the top, so he's not as involved in winning the ball. Yeah. But once we win it, he is in a prime position to create something, and I think that's really intelligent from Michael Carrick.
I do want to mention though, I don't want to spend United too long because we've got a lot of football.
Yeah, we have got a lot of football.
I know, but you three, we'll all be kids talk about United. But I will just say one more thing on it. Do you think that Fernandez, like you say, he's probably not the best defensively, and that's not just because of lack of abilities. To me, in my opinion, I've watched him, it's because of the lack of really wanting to defend. Most Premier League winning teams and most Premier League winning managers have always said you need an entire 11 of defenders at one.
Agreed.
So do you think Fernandez's lack of determination and lack of want to defend is going to hold United back in the long term?
I would say it's almost the opposite. He wants to do it so much, but do you quite have the ability to do it? I don't think anyone works as hard as Bruno Fernandes in that team.
I agree.
Generally, he will run himself into the ground. I've seen him playing centre back at times, because he doesn't. I feel like a big problem we've had with Bruno is the fact he doesn't trust his teammates as much. Recently, it seems different, hence why I've seen him at right back, centre back, CDM. Like, he will go anywhere he can because he's like, I've got to do it all. Do you know what I mean?
He's
so I think to say he's not as
well.
hardworking, I think is a disservice to what he's really doing.
I suppose that's obviously you're watching United.
So, Jen, we've covered Manchester United, but there are, and there has been since since 2006, the noisy neighbours in the other side of Manchester who have been dropping points. People saw them as the main title challengers to Arsenal, and now seemingly they don't want that themselves and throwing it away. Rodri coming out and kicking off at referees and officials and VAR. And I'm going to try and keep it away from the bias of a Manchester United fan. Will, what do you think of that? Do you think he's got is there any virtue in him kicking off at referees? Is he right? Is he wrong?
I think for as long as football is a game played by humans and not robots, refereeing will always be called out for the various decisions, whether or not it's fair or not. So I almost think it speaks to a wider issue of how is refereeing in England so bad or so good, depending on how you take it.
Compared to the EFL leagues, we're all right for the Premier League. You'll know as a Leicester fan.
Yes,
watching EFL refereeing, we are all right in the Premier League, but it's not.
I prefer not
brilliant.
I prefer not to speak on EFL refereeing, but no, in the Premier League, I think that Rodri is right to hit it out, like any player is right to hit it out. But it's a very easy excuse because it's the one part of football that they can never really defend themselves. Referees don't really very often get a platform to say, "Oh well, actually." So it's very easy to go, oh, the reason we're doing so badly at the minute is because the refereeing was bad.
So you mentioned the referees don't really get this platform to defend themselves, and there's been talks for a while, like on Monday Night Football, Saturday Soccer, and all the rest. Soccer Saturday. I knew it was one of them. It's just the wrong order. There was a 50-50 guess there. Of referees, like proposals. Should referees have post-match interviews? Should they have half-time interviews? I'm just going to open it to the room. Do you think there's any merit in that? Would that work? Would it not?
What referees are doing now, being someone who's got a season ticket, and I'm often at the games, and I really appreciate they've brought this in this year of when a VAR decision has been made, they will go on the mic and explain to the stadium why that decision has been made. I think we have indeed needed that for sure.
Really.
I will say though, counterpoint. Yes, that is in my opinion as far as it should go, because you're never going to want to talk to a referee after they've refereed the game really well and every decision's been right. Yeah. So you're only going to be wanting to speak to them when
Anthony Taylor's referee.
I mean, the opinion of Elliott is not shared by all of Shock Sport. But you're never going to want to talk to them when they've got everything right. You're only ever going to want to speak to them when they've got everything wrong. So there's no real incentive for the referees themselves to want to talk to the press or to talk to the Soccer Saturday, Monday Night Football, whatever it might be. Because why would they? They're going to go on there and be abused, and they get enough in that job already. So I don't see it.
Do you guys think City pulls this back?
I really hope so. Just because I don't want Arsenal to win.
You know, in normal circumstances, I'd have normally chosen Arsenal to win the league over City. But I don't want them to win it in the way they're winning.
Yeah.
The thing is,
I can't see corner kicks win the Premier League. I'm not having it.
No. The thing is, though, it's a long season yet. I mean, we're in February. We've just started a month of February. There's loads of football left. There is absolutely loads of football left. And that could be the point of where, who knows, maybe Arsenal drop points. I mean, they dropped points against Manchester United. So, I mean, and that's against a Manchester United team that lost to Grimsby Town. So, if that's the case, then I think anything can happen in the Premier League. And the fact that they're only 6 points clear, that's nothing really, for my opinion.
I love the way the Premier League's looking at the moment. You look at Forest, for example. Forest are what, 14th? If I'm not mistaken.
Villa.
They're 3 points off 7th.
I'm etching to cut in here, as Elliot can tell.
Yep.
I cannot say this enough. I would love it, if Arsenal won the Premier League through sheer
Corner kicks.
defending and corner kicks and terrible turgid football. Because
Harambol.
because to me, that is what football should be about. None of this tiki-taka nonsense, right? None of this trying to play as a team. None of it. Let's just score some goals from some corner kicks.
I think
The
in a
opinion.
way
It's
I
only
can almost
coolest.
agree with you is that there is no correct way to win football matches.
Yeah, a win's a
No.
win.
A win is
Yeah.
a win.
I think it's very validating for people who, like me, think that football is far too ticky-tacky nonsense now. And so it's to see a side win the league by, I'm not making claims, but it is terrible football. It is not enjoyable to watch. But to see a side win it using that terrible football,
100%.
it's almost something beautiful in that.
There is.
There's perfectness in the imperfect.
And
Imperfections.
imperfection.
Yes.
And on that topic, we shall end the football discussion before this becomes the Shock Football Show, and we'll go to another song which is an absolute classic, as I'm sure everybody on these couches will agree. This is "Here Comes the Sun" by the Beatles. We are back, and we're going to move on from football now, and we're going to start to talk a little bit about the Masters, both the cricket, not the cricket, that's later, both the darts and the snooker. Apologies for that. I've just had a mental fart, but we'll go darts first, as it was just yesterday, I think, and once again we saw Luke Littler and Luke Humphries in another major darts final. Close one, and very close, 6-5. I think Luke Littler won in the end. The standard that those two produce is just unbelievable. How good are they?
I think I'm quite good at darts, isn't it?
They are a bit
Yeah.
You know, adding a Masters to his CV, Luke Littler, and
He's
how
got-
old is he now? He must be like 18 now.
Yeah.
19.
Yeah, he is.
19?
Yes, he is.
Like,
Yeah.
to come into this sport at his age, where obviously we've all seen darts, it's a majority older fellas.
Yeah.
Luke Littler's just come in, 16-year-old at the time, and just absolutely
Yeah,
missed it.
Luke Humphries, early
Exactly.
20s as well. He's also not an old,
Do you know what I mean?
not an old
Luke
man.
Littler really makes me rethink a lot of my life.
He does, yeah.
He
No,
does, yeah.
I don't think you should look at it that way. I think someone like Luke Littler,
That's nice of you, but I am.
with all due respect, he must have been born in the pub.
He's unbelievable.
Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I bet his dad preferred that to a dude study league. He wasn't studying
Yeah.
the cold and the rain,
Do
was
you
he?
know what I mean?
Sat in the snug of a Weatherspoons.
Have you seen videos of him when he was like 4 years old throwing a dart?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Honestly,
I saw that, yeah.
It's genuinely insane. But
it's easy when we do that. I think it is a case. I remember I watched it and then I watched the highlights again this morning just to remind myself how it went. And the top comment was, you don't realise how hard it is to be as good as they are before you've picked up a set of darts. You pick up a set, like the fact they can just 180, 150 check out bullseye, like they hit their doubles like they're nothing.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? Yeah.
How good do we think they are? Because we know in this sport that the good ones are Michael van Gerwen, Phil Taylor, Barney van Bart. Well, went forever. They would define generations. Those guys. Are the Lukes going to do that as well?
Well, Luke Humphries actually said, didn't he, after when Luke Littler won it, that Luke Littler is one of the best darts players, or if not the
I
best.
think he said
darts
the
player,
best.
He said one of the best.
He said the best.
of all time. Which, I mean, Luke Littler said it today that he don't quite see himself as the best. He obviously sees Phil Taylor as the best, and personally, in my opinion, I still see Phil Taylor as the best. 16-time champion. I mean, no one can do that in my opinion. Luke Littler perhaps because he's so young, but the fact that he won the World Championships 16 times, by the way, 16. I mean, that's incredible from Phil Taylor.
Over how many years, may I ask, if you know?
Probably around like 20, 30 years or
He
something.
did 3 in a row,
Played.
which is
So over
very
20,
rare for
30
darts.
years, right? Luke Littler's been in this game for about, what, 3, 4 years?
Luke
3,
Littler
2,
is
2, I think.
Generation.
In the
I think
World Championships.
I would call him a generational talent.
Oh,
indeed.
I think the generational
Definitely.
talent sums it up. I think probably I actually disagree with you, Jake. I actually suppose a solid argument to be made that Luke Littler. Yes, maybe it's one of those he's not there yet, but he will be. Like it's just a matter of time. He will be the best.
And he'd have been in another final if he didn't wake up late as well. Like he forgot, he missed out on one tournament because he missed his alarm. Like that. This is the and
We've all been there.
we assume he'd win as
we
well.
have.
Like,
Trust me.
we assume he'd win as well. Like that's the level that he's missing alarms and missing out on major tournaments, not just 1 or 2 games.
Yeah.
God, he really is a 17-year-old.
He is a 17.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. He's powered by kebab, and he's an internationally known athlete.
See,
It's
how come
ridiculous.
when he stuffs himself with kebab, he wins World Darts Championships. I stuff myself with kebab, I get ill for 3 days.
just feel sad.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just it's not it's an unfair world. This sometimes.
It really is.
Watching them both play as well, very different techniques of the dart. I noticed Luke Littler
Definitely.
has quite an orthodox style of throwing between the two fingers of throwing it. Luke Humphries tends to throw with these two fingers, leaving quite an open hand. So it's like watching Messi and Ronaldo. You've got right foot, left foot, tall and short, like orthodox and non-orthodox. It's unbelievable watching them both, and it wasn't a close final. We saw with the World Championships, Luke Littler battered Jean Van Veen, lumped him. Yeah. Whereas this one, finishing 6-5 on the final set. Well, it will be the final set because he won. It was first two, obviously. That's how maths works. But still, incredibly nervy. It was anybody's match. Yeah. There was none. They were never. Nobody was ever 2 sets ahead of anybody else.
I think it's getting to a point with Littler though. Like, it's anybody's match, but it's always Littler's match. Yeah. I know that doesn't make much sense, but do you know? None of what I say on Shock Sport ever makes much sense, but I'll try to explain it. He will go into every match against whatever opposition it might be, probably thinking it's his to lose.
Oh, definitely.
At how old is he? 18?
18.
At 18, it's incredible. It's never before seen.
I would argue Luke Littler is the biggest name in the sport.
Oh, that's without a doubt.
That's by far.
And I think
that is
the recent
Certainly
uptake
English
in
sport.
people's interest in darts is definitely rooted in Luke Littler.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think what he's done for the game alone, let alone his own talent, but what he's done for the game alone is already.
Luke Humphries is also. He's not an old man. No, he's still a very young man, and he didn't go as massive as Luke Littler did. Straight. I mean, Luke Littler admittedly was 16, was he not, when he won the first PDC?
16, 17.
Was it 16 that he made it to the final?
I think so.
Yes, it was. Actually.
I think so. Yeah.
Like, that's ridiculous.
You were telling me just off air though, Elliot, that you think you're better than both of them.
Oh, 100%. But that's the issue is I can't go to London regularly. But
is that what that's what's stopping? That's what's stopping.
I'll tell you what.
Fair enough.
We've got a Shark Dartsathon hopefully coming up. So Luke, if you're down for it, have a go at Atmosphere. We've got a dartboard. It's a nightmare to throw on because it's not black and white. It is just the Fireball logo. But we can have a go. And moving on to another Masters. Just before I dig myself a bigger hole and end up having to do a big fish.
Yeah, 1v1v1 against
Luke Humphries. Yeah,
that would be fun for you, Elliot.
I would
be over in 5 minutes.
I'd genuinely be surprised if I get 50 off 301. But we've also had the snooker, and this was a slightly more one-sided final.
Yeah.
John Higgins, unfortunately, being pipped to the post. Is it a shame watching someone that's been in it so many times to lose?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, first of all, I'm going to say rest in peace to John Virgo. He was a local Salford lad. He is the voice of snooker.
Where is the cue ball going?
Where is the cue ball going, exactly. And he was the one guy who you could listen to forever when you watch snooker, when you watch that final, when you watch the Masters. He was one of them where you can always see that, like, you can always go there, relax, chill out, watch a bit of snooker, and it's enjoyable. So
unless you.
Wow.
Apologies.
Yeah.
So
busy boy.
Oh well, tell me. So I think the fact that we heard the news just today that John Virgo died is a really, really sad loss for snooker. But going back to the game, it was more really one-sided, I thought, in my opinion, by Karen Wilson. I mean, both players have had an incredibly good tournament. Both players did really, really well.
It was a very nervy semi-final for John Higgins to come through at 6-5.
It was.
To then get, realistically, a bit battered. 10-6 it finished the final in sets.
Yeah.
He said himself in his interview afterwards that it wasn't a 10-6 match. All of it was right. The table was right. The atmosphere was right. He was just useless, which are his words. Which is, I mean, humble and honest, but a shame to have to look at it that way, given what he did and the journey he's made. But
yes, it's always sad in any sport to watch someone who is such an icon of that sport to do so poorly. Like it goes. It's like I can think of various examples in football. When not to get back to football, but when a player's getting on a bit and their legs are gone, and it becomes very clear to everyone that maybe the time has passed. I think that's maybe what we could be seeing here.
What would you say is the reason for his fall off? Do you think it is a matter of age, or?
I think he just wasn't at the races.
I agree.
He just wasn't at the races that day. just shots that you would expect him to be making, doubles that he's missed.
Is that not how it starts, though?
It is a bit. I mean, he is.
You know what I mean? You
But I
don't have the
think
races once, and then
something like snooker that's very precision based. I feel like performance is so like linked with your mental state
oh yeah,
when it comes to those.
Yeah,
kinds of
once
things.
you're stressed, you
know what
once
I
your
mean?
head's gone, you're gone. Then I mean,
Oh,
we've had it playing
definitely,
pool at
yeah.
the pub. You beat one
Definitely.
person, you play someone else, and you just can't hit anything.
You know what I mean?
It is the same, but it was a relatively unremarkable final as far as finals go. There wasn't anything special happened. There was the 109 break, but that was round about the most impressive. His name's just gone out of my head. Who was it that won?
Karen Wilson.
Thank you. I just couldn't remember his name. Karen Wilson. He got 2 centuries. That was about it. It was.
Yeah, you think you could do better, don't you?
Oh, yeah, again, yeah, absolutely. But if that's the standard, yeah. But yeah, it was a relatively unremarkable final, but again, with snooker, who's had someone like Ronnie O'Sullivan in their sport and is the icon of that sport.
Yeah.
Is that the effect
Still
of
is.
having someone that is that good?
I think it's just a case of like you're in a final, because finals are always one of them games where they are going to be nervy. They're going to be one of them where finals are made based off one decision. It's always one thing that happens in any game that decides the final. And I'd probably say the same for this one, really. The Karen Wilson, John Higgins match. Both players obviously played quite well, but unfortunately for John Higgins, one mistake, and then Karen Wilson just decided to say, do you know what, I'm going to win this game.
Karen Wilson beating who was known as the doubles king as well. John Higgins famous for his ability to bounce the ball off every single rail and still pocket. He missed a double, Karen Wilson hit it. So
Sometimes that's the difference.
yeah, is he the new doubles king? Coming from he wasn't at the WDC because his cue exploded. His cue snapped during one of the games, which was interesting, and he came out on an interview and said that it wasn't brilliant. He didn't get very far. It was very early on.
Yeah.
And his cue broke, and so he lost that game. Obviously, he had no cue.
Yeah.
Was it
then
you
went
who were
out.
telling me that you think you could win tournaments of snooker without a working cue?
Oh, with my eyes shut.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm hearing a lot from you.
Elliott said a lot of talking to me before we went on air, which
what-
I want to make sure is
also
is
brilliant
out there.
is these takes aren't some of my worst opinions that I've given out, or some of the worst aging opinions that I've said on here. I remember saying that Lando Norris would win nothing in Formula 1, and here we are. But
Yeah, especially if there's
So-
one thing to take from the Shock Sports Show, especially with Elliott, is he gets things wrong.
don't guess my predictions.
So
We're all human
Yeah,
beings.
don't guess my
Yeah,
predictions.
everyone makes mistakes.
Yeah, don't follow my predictions. But Karen Wilson this time didn't fail, didn't get picked to the post, beat everybody,
Yeah.
seemed strong the whole way through. Congratulations. Will he come back and do it again, do we think?
I don't see why you can't.
yeah, that's right.
Why not?
Very optimistic Shock Sports Show today.
Because we're
Yeah.
optimistic people, and
We
we
are.
also
We're
know
in a
it's
good
better.
mood today.
We also know it's better to say, "Oh yes, they'll do something," because if they do it, we smile. If they don't do it, we won't expect us to anyway. Unlike
Unfortunately,
you,
who
who
will-
give predictions that are actually not as likely to happen as you might think, and then you look.
But then
I
when they happen, he looks like a clairvoyant.
Yeah.
So
The only issue is with Elliott is they are yet to ever happen.
Okay. Fair.
That's very, very true. So we're gonna wrap that one up, and we're gonna go to our next song. Back once again. Welcome back to the Shock Radio Sports Show, and a bit of a live update for you with the Winter Olympics. Currently, Team GB is beating Norway at the curling.
Come on.
Come on.
Yes.
Let's carry it on. Wonderful demonstration from Kennedy there. So, time for us to move on. We're going to do a different sport. We're going to talk tennis, the Australian Open, and another final which we've seen before. Carlos Alcaraz and Novak Djokovic. How good are they?
Yeah.
Well,
They're quite. I hear that they're quite good at tennis.
They're quite good at tennis.
They
quite
are
good at
quite
tennis.
good, Yeah.
Especially that young lad. I don't know that Carlos
Alcaraz.
Who
Alcaraz.
seems
Alcaraz,
to win
yeah.
everything.
He seems to be quite good at hitting the ball with the racket.
Over the net as well,
Yeah,
specifically
which is-
over the net.
Yeah, specifically over the net, which I've heard is quite a good skill in tennis.
I think what I love about someone like an Alcaraz coming through right now, because I feel like it's kind of like in football almost.
The
You know,
big
Messi and
four
Ronaldo
are
are
sort of
coming
Yeah.
out.
going now.
So the big four, what your Djokovic, your Murray, your
Nadal.
and Federer.
they're
The
all on
goats.
their way out now. So it's a matter of
Yeah.
the new guard, and Alcaraz is showing that I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be part of that new
I
generation.
think
Don't
he
forget
is.
about Sinner. Don't forget about
Sinner.
Sinner.
Of course.
He is. He might well be that guy as well.
But Alcaraz
Like,
is the youngest.
Can we
to
have
win a
two,
Grand
that
Slam
guy?
before.
To win a Grand Slam, yeah.
Those.
Those guys. Those guys are
Those
those
guys.
guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alcaraz, the youngest Grand Slam winner, his first Australian Open win of his career, which seems mental. Like that as a stat seems crazy
Yeah.
because he seems to have won everything. Every time he's in a tournament, he seems to win it. So for this to be his first Australian Open is mental. And Novak Djokovic as well, who seemingly people sort of forgot about him after the Olympics, which seems crazy to say in tennis that people aren't thinking about Novak Djokovic.
Yeah.
But he wasn't pipped as like he's going to win this by a mile because he's Novak Djokovic in this tournament. So where do we think the future is for Novak Djokovic now?
I
We
think
go to Jacob.
I think the idea with like tennis, I think it brings me to the darts idea. How like you've got Luke Littler and Luke Humphries, they are the two best at the sports, and I think it's the same for tennis. How you've got Yannick Sinner and you've got Carlos Alcaraz, who are the two that are like they are the best. But I think with Novak Djokovic, I mean personally, my opinion, I think he's the best tennis star to ever live. I think he's the greatest of all time with tennis. I mean, he is just about. I think he's won 24 Grand Slams, Djokovic, which is one off. Well, the record he's currently tied on 24, which is extraordinary.
It's pretty bloody good.
Oh, he is, definitely.
So he's one off the record.
Yeah, one off the record, I believe, which is 25.
He's pretty good.
But I think the fact he's 38, Novak Djokovic, which is like a 38-year-old doing that, playing like that. I mean, especially getting to a final and beating Yannick Sinner. That for me is an achievement for him, and that even backs my point. To be fair, why I think he's the greatest of all time. Because nowadays he's producing stuff like that.
Do you think he can beat the record?
I think he can do.
What's
Yeah,
that? 2 more Grand Slams?
I think so. It depends though with what happens with like Yannick Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz. It would be a case of either.
He'd have to beat.
It would be a case of both of them having an off day for me, for Novak Djokovic to win. Because I think them two players are, without a shadow of a doubt,
So
the
are
best
you
in tennis.
almost saying to Novak Djokovic, kind of leave the tennis before the tennis leaves you?
Not necessarily, but
I think I might have made that prediction a couple
I
of weeks
do
ago.
think there's another level
We
of
must
tennis.
be wrong then.
I think I definitely did make that. I definitely did make that prediction.
It's crazy he's only 38 because I tried to play tennis not long ago. I'm a young, nearly 20-year-old, and I pulled out at like nearly every muscle in my right leg after trying to play tennis for literally about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not quite the same sport. I played squash once and thought I was going to die. I don't know how they do
Oh,
it.
squash! Oh my lord,
Squash.
squash is
Don't even
squash is
talk
the most
about paddle.
brutal thing. Oh, yeah, that's another one.
Paddle,
paddle.
another one, no.
And that's on a much smaller court.
Yeah.
Not in the Australian
is.
heat. Like,
Right, guys, what it might be, I don't think we're very good athletes.
yeah, I don't
Nope.
think
I'm
Well,
not involved.
Sorry, no, yeah, Skelledy.
I'm not involved.
we're not quite as good at hitting a tennis ball with a racket as Carlos Alcaraz.
I went to tennis summer camp when I was a kid. If that makes you guys feel.
I think I did tennis club at school.
I think golf club at school.
Golf club.
Golf
Yes,
club.
yes.
Like a private school.
No, I didn't know the golf club. The golf club basically. This is very off topic.
It's like a step down from Quidditch.
No. Let me tell you what the golf club was at my primary school in Leicester. Basically, we went down to the local 4G pitch and we got like normal hockey sticks, and got told these are golf clubs, and then got tennis balls and were told to hit them, and that was our golf club.
This man was tricked into playing
What?
hockey.
So,
Yeah.
Tricked into playing hurling.
so,
Yeah.
but,
Definitely.
That's a conversation for another day.
so to be
Crazy.
clear, this was
Definitely is,
yeah. I don't think that's what goes on at private schools, but the accent is a lie.
They might have golf club. But if we move on from tennis, that's sort of we covered a lot of the tennis
We
on the
definitely
last weeks. Going through the tournament, we've only really had the final. We've got yet more sports, obviously, and I am repping the team very proudly. England beating Sri Lanka for 3 days out of the 4 in the ODI.
I think so, yeah.
One game going down to DLS, which is a bit annoying, but
Yeah.
still for England to come back from being absolutely battered at the Ashes,
Yeah.
and me
Less
and
said the better about the Ashes. I
me
think.
and another shock show regular, Jim Pearson, have moaned on these couches about the English Ashes
I
teams
can imagine.
more than once. For them to come back seemingly after that tournament where they looked down and out against Australia, they seemed were just battered every time. They just couldn't do anything. For them to then come back into the one-day series where they always tend to be a bit better and seemingly play really well.
Yeah.
Joe Root and I can't remember his name. I want to say Mark Woods, but I know it's not that. Both batting for a 50-ball century is crazy, and they smashed it out of nowhere. And it's really ideal with the T20 World Cup coming up. So go on England, please keep playing cricket well, so I don't have to wake up at 3 in the morning and watch you get battered again. Anyway, we'll move on. So, the Winter Olympics. We've mentioned it. You've had your live updates. I've done my little cricket rant. So, we've had our live updates, but they start today. They started about 45 minutes ago.
Should we do a quick check to see what the score currently is?
Let's do a quick Google. What is the current score of the England-Norway curling match? It is 3-3. Unfortunately,
3-3.
our live update team, we've just had the poor news into my ear that England seemingly can bottle it in every single sport, but we've still got it. Let's get the Scottish and the Irish involved, and the Welsh. Get Team GB going.
Why not?
But with the Winter Olympics, what do you think is your favourite sport? What's the one you're most excited for? Yeah, the Winter in the Winter Olympics.
It'd be weird if you said, "Oh, what's your favourite?"
Yeah, what's your favourite sport at the Winter Olympics? And you produced archery. That'd be quite confusing.
Call me a basic man. I do like the bobsleigh.
The bobsleigh.
Yeah, that is a good one. Yeah.
It is fun. We'll go round and then we'll dissect the
I think for me, bobsleigh would have been, I have like a 2. Bobsleigh would have been one of them, and purely just because of cool runnings. If I'm being honest, let's be real. But if I'm being honest, I think snowboarding.
Yeah.
Purely,
That's
I
a
grew up
fun one.
skateboarding, so I've always said I'd love to try and translate that skill.
The half pipe.
Yeah, of course, for sure.
Do you know what? For me, it's slightly different to what you two people are. I think ski jumping. I don't know why. I just think there's something about when you're watching live ski jumping. There's just something about it.
Watching people fly is quite fun.
My question is, what's the baby step to getting into ski jumping? Most hobbies tend to have a baby step.
Jumping off your nan's sofa.
How do you get into the baby step?
Yeah, just like
To be
slow.
fair, with skiing, like if
Point
you've
yourself
ever,
on a mountain.
I've never been skiing, but I know people who do it, and like one thing I've learned is when you go to these mountains and you do your skiing, they have different types of slopes. So they'll have like
They
different
do,
Yeah,
levels
we go
in terms
from
of the
blue to
difficulty.
black, don't they?
So do you know what I mean? So for sure, you know, people who are doing it from a young age, you know, they start off small. All of a sudden, they're doing these black trails. And,
Was it you that said you wanted to go to a ski place and go to the highest point?
Oh,
and
no
try
chance!
that?
I would absolutely fall over on this one. That is the one that I think I'm willing.
Is that where we're stopping?
Yeah, Ronnie O'Sullivan, have it whenever you want, but I will.
buried under like 10 foot of snow.
Yeah, I will sit on my guns a bit when I'm asked to ski jump. I think that might.
It must have been Kennedy that told me that.
That might be too. That might be too much for me. I am a personal fan of the speed skating. I think that is. Has anybody ever been ice skating?
I ice skated
It
once.
is bloody hard.
It's funny actually. I really could not get it. Like I could not get my balance at all. And one of the people that like I don't want to call him an instructor, but that's out there making sure everyone's safe. He comes up to me, he's like, "You just got to be confident."
Yeah.
To which I responded, "Have you ever seen a black person ice skate before?"
Yeah,
And I remembered that Frozone existed.
Yeah, that's
so
very
all
true.
of a sudden I'm blitzing around this ice rink, giving it the Frozone. Learn how to ice skate immediately.
Ice skating is hard. Like it is so difficult, and they're ice skating at like 40 miles an hour. They're so fast.
Yeah.
I went once, fell over twice, and was told by one of the people that was selling the skates, maybe sit this one out. And that's where we're at. And these people are skating at 45 miles an hour. That's crazy. They're getting.
I think like synchronized figure skating is also something.
Yeah,
I find quite
the
interesting.
ice skating events I think are.
Yeah.
Can we have a shot sport synchronized ice skating, figure skating?
Oh, if you want to organise that, Will.
Why not?
You can
Why
be the
not?
team captain of that one.
Yeah, the man who's never ice skated because I'm terrible.
I'm terrified of getting injured.
No, I'm not even terrified of getting injured. I've got a really bad fear of like moving quickly in open space.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's not what I was expecting.
I was thinking the blades on the
Oh,
bottom.
yeah.
No,
I
the
would,
blades.
yeah.
I mean, they're obviously. I don't like blades as much. Anyone doesn't like blades. I don't want them near me. But no, like I've got a really bad. It's the same reason why I can't go like rollerblading. I get really like weird feelings when I'm going fast with my own legs in an open area.
On with grip that you don't quite expect. I actually
Yes,
back
like
it,
I get really like physical. Like I start like shaking
with
It's
a
really
lack of grip. I can understand that actually. Now that you've,
I feel like I'd have
Yeah.
avoided many injuries if I had the same fear.
we need to never buy Will Heelys. That's the.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. When like everyone in my school had Heelys, I didn't have any. I felt like I was so uncool. I mean, I saw one kid riding, and he went like he must have chipped like a small rock or something flying. Hit his head. He was fine in the end. Don't worry. But I remember feeling like I wasn't happy that he'd hurt himself. I remember thinking, God, I'm so glad I wasn't there. I felt like so glad I've got that fear. And I think that's why I've kept.
You weren't just the hipster by then. You were careful. So we've also got on Sunday the big American sport, the Super Bowl, is back. What's your general opinions on American football? Are we likers? Are we not likers?
I'm a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of American football. I can watch it for days. I mean, the only bad thing is my American football team are the worst American football team in the American football. So that's very fun. But the good thing is when it does come the NFL playoffs, that is one type of season. But I tend to forget my fandom and focus on the teams that are in it. And this year you've obviously got the two best teams in the AFC and the NFC, which pains me to say the best team in the AFC is the New England Patriots, and the one in the NFC are the Seattle Seahawks. And I think this is an interesting one to call. I mean, I know New England Patriots, they have played very, very well, especially from how they were last season. I believe they finished 4-13 in their season, and now the fact that they are in the Super Bowl under first coach Mike Vrabel is something quite spectacular, really, in my opinion. And whilst for the Seattle Seahawks, they've obviously got a first-year quarterback, Sam Darnold, who was once my team's quarterback. So that is quite upsetting. But come on, Sam, you can do it. And I just think with Seattle, they have loads of offense. Their offense is loaded. I mean, they've got two of the best wide receivers in the whole league, Jackson Smith and Jigba, fantastic wide receiver. Cooper Kupp, fantastic wide receiver, already won the Super Bowl with the Los Angeles Rams. So I think it'll be an interesting one to call. But for my opinion, I just think Seattle have too much quality.
So I'm just going to cut to, I need quick fire predictions. Will?
I'm going to back Jake and go Seattle, mainly because I know nothing about American football.
Fair enough.
I also know nothing about American football, but shout out to Bad Bunny's doing the halftime show.
Yeah, and Green Day.
Yes. Bad Bunny and Green Day.
I'll be watching that.
We will be there for that.
That'll be a good show.
I'll back the Seahawks. I'll back the Seahawks.
Why not?
Why not?
I think it might be.
No, Elliot, don't back the same one as us.
I think
because then they would lose.
Then they would lose.
Elliott's prediction.
I think it might be. I mean, they are the Super Bowl. They are the big hitters. They've won it the most out of everybody. They've been in the most.
Yep.
Here come the Patriots. But we've spoken of our predictions. If you do want to catch more Shock Radio Super Bowl predictions, more Shock Radio Super Bowl coverage, check out the Utter and Shock collaboration, where we will be doing a Super Bowl special over on there. That should be coming out around Super Bowl Sunday if you're super into American football and you want to watch us talk probably nonsense if I'm involved. But it will be a great show, so do watch that. But speaking of great shows, gentlemen, I think we've absolutely smashed this one. Would you agree?
It's been enjoyable.
I agree with that show over there.
Lovely. We've absolutely, I agree with you. And I agree that I'm going to have to beat Luke Littler in a 9-darter now because of Will Phillips and Ronnie O'Sullivan in a 147.
There you go, I was about to say.
He does.
I feel as though really do succumb to peer pressure quite easily.
And I tell you what,
Wait, peer pressure? He folded under zero pressure.
Yeah,
no one said anything.
You put my pressure on. You're right, actually.
And, on that bombshell, as they used to say on Top Gear, it's time to end. Thank you very, very much for watching the Shock Sports Show. My name's Elliott Palmer.
My name's Jacob Ramsford.
I've been Kennedy Oden.
I'm Will Phillips.
This is Shock Sport. Thank you very much for watching. Good night.
Bye.